Andy, and I'm a gambling addict. Last bet 14th of April 2007. Just want to show you Lucy. Wave, Lucy. You can go now if you want, darling. She was just downstairs here with me, so all good. How I've been last couple of weeks. Well, first of all, thank you very much for your feedback on my last live vlog with my wife. I had quite a lot of personal messages of thanks and stuff like that, so it was really good. I thought it was a very moving vlog, and it was the hardest one I had to do, really, and obviously it was hard for my wife. She's an emotional person. I know people were a bit upset, probably, maybe having her on and stuff and all that, but I think we still need to have the rawness, and we need to get people who are affected others to speak up a bit more, and I thought it went as well as it could, really. So yeah, she's doing okay, by the way, my wife, and it was really nice to get her thoughts and what I'm like, because I am such a div, don't get me wrong. But yeah, so last couple of weeks have been obviously very interesting, obviously with that last live vlog. Had an article published in The Guardian last Saturday. Abby Young-Powell interviewed me over the phone, basically, and we had some photos when I was at the ICE event in February, and it came out last Saturday. Obviously, I shared it quite far and wide. You know what I'm like. I like to be open, keep the addiction relevant as well, and it's great to actually do that and show them a story in print format, and it's quite humbling. It was amazing. I had quite a lot of good reception from it as well, and talk to a lot of more people, and hope it inspires people, my story. All I'm trying to do is trying to break the stigma of the addiction, because it's still very silent, it's still very raw. We talk about drugs and alcohol a lot, and it's really great, really, to just try and have a voice, really, so to speak, if you know what I mean. So really good. And but yeah, I want to talk a bit more about I've got an underlying theme on the show today, so mental health. How do you feel? Has it affected you mentally with gambling addiction? I mean, I can talk about stuff, if you know what I mean, about my personal life. Hi Harry, hope you're doing well. Thank you very much. About halfway through my current recovery, about 2013, I had a really bad time. I was very depressed, felt really low, had a really bad time with work, really, and it kind of like brought home that you're never far away from that feeling really low with the addiction. I mean, yes, I am nearly 12 years in recovery, but that you can still get those feelings of high and low, and in all walks of life, really. And I didn't really open up for a bit, and I kind of like lashed out with how I'm feeling and stuff and all that, and it caused me to lose my job at a very good job. I want to know how our moods have been and stuff. Hi Lewis. How you feel at times. What kind of mood swings do you have? Do you have suicidal thoughts? Do you have proper issues like that? I mean, I did try to end my life, and the thought process into going to that is, I know some people say it's a cowardly thing to do, but there's a lot of people think it's very courageous as well, and I just want to get people's insights on that as well. So if there's anyone in the live chat, please talk up about how your mental health is now, how it's been before. Just talk about it in general, and what do you do to try and cope with feeling low, with your mood swings, with how life is. Hi Sean, so I'm just going to read that out. I just used to go into my bedroom and beat myself up about it inside. I used to put up a good front, and my friends and family would never know how down I was. And that's what you did, basically. Yeah, you shut yourself away quite a lot, and you keep quiet, and you don't want anyone to see that real you, that inside of you, basically. What I try and urge people to do is get out there, talk to somebody who you trust, who you can do, be one-on-one, even like that. Always talk about how you're feeling. Especially with gambling addiction, per se, because it'll help you actually have another barrier in place, so to speak. Hi Scott. Do you think that if your mental health took a downturn now, then that would be because of your past gambling addiction? I don't know. I mean, I had some quite low times, Scott. Like I say, 5, 6 years ago. I think I probably react better to it now than when I was when I was gambling, so to speak. I think if I was still gambling or still quite raw, I probably react totally different. I probably shut myself away even more and feel now I had that lived in experience of like real bad depression and taking tablets for it and stuff and all like that. And I think I can probably adapt myself better. And obviously, I talk to my wife a hell of a lot more, and I talk to others around me. If I'm feeling that low and really desperate, I will get on the blower to somebody who probably understands me even more. And that's what I try to do, Scott. Harry, although it wasn't before opening up, fine. We're all good lies, unfortunately. I'd love for gambling addicts to open up ACP. As you say, Harry, it's the best thing. We all think about this thing after we've opened up, don't we? Until we like hit the rock bottom, so to speak. Comes to myself, I put so much pressure on myself to have the job and the dreams. Perfect. Best thing for you, Lewis, is like you say, you got to look after yourself first. Look after your mental health and stuff. I mean, in general, I mean, obviously, I see a lot of social media where my social media, I see a lot of new accounts spring up who are anonymous with regards gambling addiction and stuff. What I would say is try and look after yourself first. It took me over 9 years to break out and do all this, and I had to put myself first. I had to get myself right, if you know what I mean. That's fair comment, Scott. That's fair comment. Danny, back on CBT course as tomorrow to hopefully help with the gambling and also mental health side. As in CBT, did have cognitive behavioural therapy that when I was having my bout of depression 5, 6 years ago. I was really low, and it did help to like put words on paper and have a little bit of a diary about how I'm feeling. That's another good kind of tool to use. Write down how you're feeling. Have a little personal diary. Yeah, my jumper's amazing, Mark. My advice would be look after yourself first. Don't worry. Yeah, exactly. Hi, Jan. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Keep subscribing, guys. I'm trying to keep open. I try and break the stigma. I'm trying to get people wide open. What do you think of holding resentments towards people making a difference in the industry? Do you think it's healthy? I talk about my own personal experience. I'd say for me, it's not. At the start, yeah, I had my resentments. First 6 to 8 months, I wanted to blame everybody else but myself. I remember trying to stop on my own from January 2007 before I really did stop myself in April 14th, 2007. And I was harbouring resentment to the industry, thinking, why, I can't do this. I can't. That's your fault. It's everybody else's fault but themselves. There's always little triggers. Oh, my wife said something, so I'm going to go and gamble and stuff and all like that. It is definitely not healthy for me, Scott, personally, and that's the way it is. For me, obviously, I do speak out quite a lot on things, and I have spoken to the industry quite a lot as well. What they want to do is pick your brains. They want to try and help themselves as well. They want to try and make themselves more responsible. They have the faults, don't we all? But at the end of the day, everyone needs to come together, talk together, listen together as well, and that's the best thing. Thank you, Jan. Really appreciate that. I know James, but GA helps some people that gamble for a few months. I wouldn't have been in such a way. He said I quit after. Like I say, GA is not everybody's cup of tea. Totally get that. There is other ways of trying to stop. Gamcare, obviously, you've got your own kind of tools and initiatives to do so. I'm not saying GA is the best thing out there. It was best for me. Might not be best for others. Anyway. Hi Wayne, any advice? I know I have a gambling partner. I want to sort it out, but all my interests in gambling, no real friends out of the gambling circle. What I would say is first that I was just talking about GA might be a cup of tea, Wayne. There might be people around who you can talk to who might relate to and understand, and you might be around people who might get friendly with you, who will talk to you on the phone, who will try and get you into other interests as well, if you know what I mean. Have you got any blocks or anything in place at all, Wayne? Exactly, Dan. Exactly, Mark. Yep. All good. Yep. All good. Yeah. Gam stop. Yep. I'm glad you got your gam stop on. I know it works for a lot of people as well. I'm guessing you're mainly online gambling, Wayne. Have you actually sought for any help at all apart from coming on the vlog tonight? But like I say, with like your mental health, wide open, talk to people. I mean, the stigma is going with it as well. You look on like Twitter, Facebook, etc. You can relate to people now. Everyone's open, if you know what I mean. That's great, Mark. Mark and Scott both work for Epic Risk Management. They like try and do safeguarding around gambling education stuff and all like that. Dan Richter as well, he's got his own Better Futures as well, doing great things as well. So I've got a few people on the vlog tonight who have got very good lived in experience. Volunteering, that's great stuff. That's a good idea, Dan, yeah. I mean, I know quite a few people through GA is basically who do a lot of volunteering. I know one or two people who are going to help the homeless, go and do like soup kitchens, etc. and stuff and all that lot. But in denial, when 4K. Yeah, what I could say, Wayne, is you're not alone. There's a lot of people like yourself who do go through those vicious cycles of winning. The winning is usually the big trigger, because then you want more, you want more, you want more, you want more. Sean, now I have a bit more money due to quitting. I'm enjoying making a few new friends, and hopefully gambling won't make lose at these ones. Precisely. And what they say, Sean, just keep opening up, keep talking to people, keep relating to people. Thank you, Harry. I really appreciate that, mate. Really do appreciate that. I want to show you, I'm going to talk a bit about my light bulb moment, really, and obviously everyone knows my story fairly well now, who are relevant and all that lot, but I just want to show you something from the day I stopped gambling. What I did, obviously I smashed up my computer and stuff, and I've dug out the actual hammer that I actually smashed my PC up with. I thought it kind of like I've always kept it, and it kind of like a reminder of what I did and how low I felt at that time. So I know it sounds like, oh yeah, it's just any ordinary hammer, but this kind of like is another psychological barrier in place for me, and it kind of like shows where I was at that time, how low I was at like 4:30, 4:45 in the morning, smashing my PC up after doing another 600 quid, going all in on pocket twos. It's funny how I remember these kind of things, if you know what I mean. Oh, I forgot Harry's a hammer. Yeah, but that's silly psychological barriers like that help me. You might have your light bulb moments. I mean, I was talking to someone earlier about their light bulb moments and being switched on with stuff and things like that. What I would say is that's a perfect thing to like kind of remember. I know we try and move forward and we've got to keep going a day at a time and think positive all the time, but sometimes those bad things do creep back into your head. But remember how sometimes it is kind of good to hear them, like remember how bad you felt sometimes, if you know what I mean. And then no, I won't give a dig with it, Mark, at all. But it's there to remind me, if ever I felt like I wanted a bet again or feeling low and really low, look at my hammer, look at my literature, look back on the story and things like that, and it kind of reminds me how far I've come. Find it's work, gamble, repeat, been that way for 6 years. I need to change, want to be happy, go on holiday. I tell you there, Wayne, it can change so much. I was a work, gamble, repeat constantly for the best part of 2 years. I was chasing everything, anything I wanted, I was trying to chase it through gambling. Nowadays, 2018, last year in August, I managed to pay for my own holiday, me and my wife. to go to New York. Everything I ever chased, I've got now without gambling. Got a nice house. Some people will say I've got shabby decorating, but there we go. But I've got a car that runs. I've got a job. I've got 3 wonderful kids. I've got a wonderful wife who has supported me through thick and thin, through my bad times, good times, indifferent times, so to speak. You can get there, Wayne. I promise you. Day at a time. Get them things in place. Get them barriers in place. Get to meetings. Search for help. Feel free to contact me privately. I'm going to my social media tag at barramad79 on Twitter. I'll quite happily talk to you privately, Wayne. I really do want you there if you can. You could talk to me privately. Drop your social media tags in, guys, down here. Build your network. Talk to people. Give yourself a bit of hope. Give yourself a bit of encouragement. Encourage each other. It'd be great. I'm just going to read up again. Worst thing about gambling is it gave me a false sense of being in a good mood. That's a very good thing, Sean. Yeah, like I say, it gives you a false sense of reality. You think you're feeling good, but you're not. And if you know what I mean. So, yeah, exactly. I could bet for about 6 months after coming out. Just need to understand why you do it, what your triggers are. What kind of triggers did you have, Mark? If you want to explain them a bit more on here, that might be nice. It might help others, if you know what I mean. Exactly. Yeah. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Scott, for patches. I wonder if he is watching and tuning in. Yeah, I agree totally. That's literally the hard part for everybody. When you get past that barrier in due course, things get so much easier. Yeah, I mean, obviously I got found out by my wife. Then I found it even harder to talk to my mum and dad as well. But once you get stuff off your chest, it starts to improve day by day. You've got other people know how you'll feel, what you've done, and things like that. You're not hiding it anymore, and the less hiding of it is better. You are trying to get yourself into a positive mindset, but you've got people who can try and back you up and try and support you the best they can. Hi, Wonky. Thank you, mate. All good. Yeah, Wayne, as you say, totally relate, mate. There's lots of people who are the same. Lots of people who are the same. All I can say is, Wayne, you are not alone. And by speaking out, how are you feeling now? Are you feeling better, actually, talking about it? Have you had no chance of ever talking about it to anybody else? Adrenaline, yeah. That's a very good point, Mark, as well. As Mark was an ex-rugby player, and his story is quite a very shocking story, very personal story, and it might be worth to try and have a Google of it and try and have a look for it. And I've heard Mark's stories many times, and he's an inspirational guy, and the work he's doing is wonderful. Which made it worse. Yeah, this is what I'm trying to say, Wayne. You think you can win everything to back and stuff and all that. Yeah, Wayne, what would do if you go on the GA website, type in your postcode. I'm sure there's meetings in Wolverhampton, and I'd quite happily meet you halfway because I'm in Derby. I'll quite happily have a chat with you for an hour, have a coffee or something like that, because I have done that around Midlands quite a few times. Hi, Hamid. Feel free to put it up, Mark. But yeah, you can get through a day at a time and fight it. Well done, Hamid. Well done for quitting for 1 month. Keep going, son. Day at a time. But yeah, going back to mental health, I like to say, what's the lowest point you've actually ever been at? Anybody? What's like been your breaking point of like how are you feeling with like depression, and what kind of stuff have you done to get yourself out of depression or try to live with it, so to speak? Please comment, and because I'm no expert at anything. I'm just a guy trying to share a story. Yeah, and it's great to like keep chatting about it, really break the stigma. I went to NA meeting yesterday after planning. Okay, sorry to hear that, Hamid. Wayne, if you get on to okay and say that you tried you. That's very good, Sean. Thank you very much. Government lost most of it. Almost went to. Yeah. Did you have any other like kind of treatment at all, Mark? Obviously, you went through Sporting Chance quite a lot. Can you probably explain what Sporting Chance does? And it might give people like benefit, see how your recovery was. So, you know what I mean, sat outside God, I cried in my car, took a payday. These are kind of like could be your light bulb moment, Wayne. That's what I've just been talking about with my hammer. Sat outside Gala, cried in your car. Do you really want to feel that low again? Do you want to get to that kind of point again, so to speak? I'm glad you're on this today, Wayne. There is hope, there is help out there. All these guys are on the comments, are recovering gambling addicts. They are trying to fight. They'll support you any way possible. Dear Scott, I'm sorry to hear that, mate, but it's very brave of you to actually comment on there and be live with it and stuff. It's absolutely horrendous what mental health you can have, how bad your mental health can go. Self-compassion, discovery of self-gives. I try to care for myself the way I would for a thing. As you say, if you try and make yourself feel better, Owen, think positive. Look after yourself. Forgive yourself. Exactly, Mark. Yeah, time for me, like I say, time's the biggest killer. Gambling addiction, mental health, sitting there and brooding on it is not going to help you. Open up, talk, do something. Yeah, that'll be the right thing to do, Wayne. But I can laugh about it now. Yeah. Evening, Andy. Thank you, Mark. Hi, Mark. Hope you're doing well. Mark was one of that last month. Yeah, I was just say there's lots of people, Sean, who's done that, and by speaking out and talking about how brave you're doing so, it's amazing. But I couldn't remove yourself. It felt like an out-of-body experience. You feel like you're in a complete bubble, don't you, Sean? So you kind of like realise that kind of moment there, Scott, kind of realise that, what am I doing? And look where you are now, mate. Look where you are now. That's all I can say. You're doing great work. There's a lot of people doing great work who are on the live comments tonight. Exactly, Owen. Like I say, being self-aware of yourself. Yeah, totally agree with that. Owen, the worst thing for me was tightness and putting those two. Exactly, Harry. Exactly, Harry. Brilliant. So, give yourself a different, happiest day. Give yourself a different, happiest day, Wayne. Make today your happiest day that you're trying to find to try and fight the gambling addiction. Walk into your first GA meeting, go to GamCare. Them first days could be your happiest days. It means it might be a bit of a weight off your shoulders. Get yourself the help that you really do need, Wayne. Like I say, I'm quite happily come and meet you or talk to you privately over social media. Brilliant, Mark. Well done for 6 weeks. Superb, mate. Absolutely chuffed for you. Hi, Shabba. Hi, Gavin. There's quite a lot of people who are quit are in recovery actually on the live chat. My last bet was nearly 12 years ago, but there's also people on here. I do get, like you say, with your advertising and stuff and all that lot. And for me, on a personal note, after the watershed and not during live sporting events, I think it's fine for me. That's just my own personal view. When did you start to enjoy the foot? To be honest, Sean, obviously I did have football bets, but I was quite good with my football, so to speak. I still went to the matches. I mean, I've not been enjoying it really lately because Derby have been absolutely woeful. But I totally get that, Sean. I mean, there's a lot of people who've had football affect them. That they love the Saturday afternoon gambles and stuff and all that. And I know some who took themselves out of it completely. There's some who still watch football, but they're trying to enjoy it more now as a spectator sport rather than it's just a gamble, and they've changed the view differently. Obviously, there's people on here who have talked about football and stuff on here, and if anyone can help Sean out, that'd be great. Brilliant, Wayne. Brilliant, Stu. Yeah. Brilliant, Mark. Yeah, learn to understand your triggers. Put barriers in place. Hi, Mark. Fob reduction will help. I was never for it or opposed it. I think, on a monetary sense, I think the only thing the fixed odds betting terminal debate and how it all come to prominence, I think the only good thing about it is it raised the actual issue of gambling addiction. For me, the fixed odds betting terminals going down to £2. Obviously, there's a monetary thing there, but I just don't. If you're already stuck in the midst of a problem gambler, you're only going to carry on doing it. And I always talk about time a lot more, and I don't think a reduction for someone who's already struggling is going to help. That's just my own personal view, really. As Mark says, yeah, I don't think it will help. Good, yeah, Scott, totally agree. Well, I get what you're saying, totally. Exactly, Harry. Exactly, Mark. Game carer, brilliant. Yeah, brilliant, Mark. Sean, go to games with people like that you care about. It will take... Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Dan. Yeah, brilliant. Brilliant. As Sean says as well, mate, Gambler Care is open until 12 o'clock. Get on the blower. Talk to somebody. I'm on my DMs on Twitter at Barromed79. If you've not got a Twitter account, open one up. I'll gladly talk to you. Gladly talk to you. Brilliant, Sean. Yeah, perfect. Like you say, perfect thing to say. Gonna have a couple more minutes, so if anybody else got more to say, feel free. Then I'll probably wrap up for this evening. Fantastic, Shabba. 2 weeks ago, not gambled for in 20. That is amazing, mate. How are you feeling, Shabba? Do you feel good about that? That is amazing, mate. I'm really proud of you. Superb. Obviously, the next vlog will be a pre-record one, probably next week or week to 10 days. I might go back to doing live vlogging every couple of weeks. Not sure yet. Obviously, I've enjoyed doing this one today. It's been a very nice one. It's been lots of debate, healthy debate, lots of people cracking on. Talks a bit about mental health. Obviously, I'm not the most qualified. Yeah, someone put my Twitter account up on here for me, guys. That'd be great. Don't worry about how long it's took, Shabba. Feel about how well you're doing now. If someone can put my Twitter handle up, obviously I can't type at the same time. At BaronMad79, please, if you can. Anyway, I am going to go. Thank you very much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. My name's Andy. I'm a compulsive gambler. Last bet, 14th of April 2007. Thank you.